Good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order the January 24th, 2024 regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, 6:33 p.m. If I could please ask Charles Cooper, who's affiliated with New Hope, to come up for the invocation, please.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we just thank you for this day. Lord, we just thank you for an opportunity to serve you. Lord, we just ask that you would just be with these, in this meeting, Lord, be with these individuals as they prepare to make decisions for this town. Lord, I just ask that you would bless them individually as well as collectively, bless their families, and bless the decisions that they make that affect the village here. And Lord, we just thank you for all that you have done. We even thank you for the things that we take for granted. In Jesus' name, amen.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udris.
Present.
Open to the public, agenda items only. May I please have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Make that motion, Mayor. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Horn. Yes. Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes. Thank you. All right, moving on to the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Boggs. I will start with the oath. Jared, how do we pronounce it? Is it Holesky? If you can please raise your right hand, repeat after me, insert your name after I.
I, Jared Holetsky,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear,
that I will support and defend,
support and defend,
that I will support
I will support
and defend, and bear true faith
bear true faith,
and allegiance
allegiance
to the Constitution
to the Constitution
of the United States
to the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Illinois
of the State of Illinois
and the territory,
and the territory,
institutions,
institutions,
and facilities thereof.
facilities thereof,
Both public and private,
both public and private,
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I take
that I take
this obligation freely,
this obligation freely,
without any
without any
mental reservation
mental relevation
or purpose
for purpose
or purpose
or purpose
of evasion,
evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well
well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge
discharge
the duties
the duties
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to answer.
And I do further
I do further
swear
swear
that I do not
that I do not
advocate,
advocate,
nor am I,
nor have I been
a member
a member
of any political party,
of any political party,
a member
a member
of any political party
a member of any political party
or organization
or organization
that advocates
that advocates
the overthrow
the overthrow
of the government
of the government
of the United States
of the United States
or of this state
or of this state
by force
by force
or violence,
or violence,
and that during
during
such time
such time
as I am affiliated
as I'm affiliated
with the village
of
Monee
Monee
EMA organization,
EMA organization,
I will not advocate
I will not advocate
nor become
or become
a member
a member
of any political party
of any political party
or organization
what was that?
or
Or
organization
organization
that advocates
that advocates
the overthrow
the overthrow
of the government
of the government
of the United States
of the United States
or of this state
or of this state
by force
by force
or violence.
or violence.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here, you can sign this one.
It only gets easier from here. It only gets easier.
You can sign there
I'll put it back up. Got it.
Congratulations again. And last on my report, I did see that we do have, and we've mentioned a couple times, just to make sure everyone's aware, we do have Notify Me through the village website. It is another way to be able to keep everyone abreast of what's going on. You can select whether you want to know emergency alerts, things that are going on at the village, events, meetings. So you can do that by going to the Village of Monee website and clicking under the village alerts for Notify Me. End of report.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Under my report, we are honored this evening to have State Representative Jackie Haas here. She represents the 79th District with a proclamation for Monee's 150th anniversary. So thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations on 150 years. It's my honor and privilege to be able to offer this resolution to the Village of Monee. So I'm here tonight and bear with me, it's a little bit lengthy. So I am here tonight to offer House Resolution 553, which was adopted in the House on January 17th of this year. Whereas the members of the Illinois House of Representatives wish to congratulate the Village of Monee on the occasion of the 150th anniversary of its founding by Augustus Herbert in 1853. And whereas in 1832, the Treaty of Camp Tippecanoe with the Potawatomi resulted in a gift of property to the 5 daughters of Marie Lefebvre Bailey, who is half French, half Ottawa descent, and her husband Joseph Bailey. And whereas while young Marie Lefebvre Bailey was called Marie by the French, the Ottawa had no corresponding sound for the letter R in their dialect, thus calling the little girl Monee, and the area and the latter village were named Monee in her honor. And whereas in 1851, William Ogden, the first mayor of Chicago and leading investor in Illinois Central Railroad Company, purchased the property from the Bailey family for $5 an acre. And whereas in 1853, the Village of Monee was platted for the founder, August Herbert, who had obtained 160 acres in 1849 under the land warrant granted to him for services in the Mexican War. He then sold a tract of 40 acres of his initial 160 to the Illinois Central Railroad Company, which was also platted, with both tracts of land forming the Village of Monee. And whereas that same year, the Illinois Central Railroad established a station in Monee, and that station led to the growth of the town, which soon boasted a general store, a schoolhouse, and a grain warehouse with several elevators. And whereas, a little over 2 decades later, the Village of Monee was incorporated on November 9th, 1874. And whereas in 1905, the Village of Monee hosted its first Monee District Fair, which later evolved into the annual Fall Fest. The Monee River newspaper was established, and a new schoolhouse was constructed. And whereas in 1950, the Village of Monee's fire department purchased land, which would eventually become Fireman's Park. The American Legion Auxiliary established a post. The first elementary school was built. Crete Monee High School was constructed and started classes. gas lines were introduced, and construction of Interstate 57 was announced, and the current post office opened. And whereas in 1974, the Village of Monee celebrated its centennial with a number of events and activities, including a parade, a play, the publication of a historical book, and the burial of a time capsule. And whereas in 2016, the Village of Monee Creamery was granted Will County's landmark status for its being one of the last creamery structures in the county, constructed out of local Lockport limestone, achieving said status thanks to the efforts made by Save the Creamery Foundation, which evolved into the Monee Historical Society. And whereas, with over 5,000 residents, multiple local global businesses, and the cohesive Monee's Alliance of the Churches, the Village of Monee has ample reason to commemorate the achievements and legacy of the past 150 years, while also eagerly anticipating the promising future that lies ahead. Therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 103rd General Assembly of the State of Illinois that we congratulate the Village of Monee on its 150th anniversary of its founding, and be it further resolved that suitable copies of this resolution will be presented to the Village of Monee and the Monee Historical Society as an expression of our esteem and respect. Congratulations again, and we have copies for both the village and the Historical Society.
Should everyone, all the trustees, or? Yeah, all the trustees.
Thank you very much again, Representative Haas. Next up on my report, we've got the Will County Board Chair, Judy Ogala, to come talk to us and give us an update on solar farms,
Solar
which seems to
farms.
be, yes, all the rage these days.
It's all the rage all over. Every month we have so many coming forward. Thank you for asking me to come and speak tonight. I think it's an important issue for everyone to understand what's been going on since last year during the lame duck session, when the House of Legislators passed legislation taking away siting authority from the county board. So with that, as long as they have an AMA agreement, which is Ag Mitigation Agreement with the state of Illinois, they can apply for a special use permit in agricultural industrial lands, and we cannot say yes or no. Now, we have said no to one solar farm, and there's a possibility that the county could get sued for that. We're looking to test the water. So far, that hasn't been challenged yet. So that's one thing. But during that, the county is part of an organization called ISACO, which is the Illinois State Association of County Organizations. And last summer I said, can't we get a task force? Because we're all dealing with this, all counties in the state of Illinois. So we formed a task force. Our first meeting was November 29th. Our second meeting was just last Friday. And through that, we've come together and learned that all of the counties involved with this all had ordinances allowing solar farms or wind farms. They were very good, robust, and we were able to approve, solar facilities in the area. So what happens now is we're putting together a list of amendments that we might like to get changed. We know that we can't repeal the bill, but we're hoping to get some amendments so we can have some authority back in it, because we've had situations. One was in Shorewood, which is the one that was denied, and it was very close to an area where Shorewood was going to be expanding to, close to residential area, and that's not a suitable place, in my mind, to do that. Recently, we've had some that we have not passed through the Land Use Committee in Green Garden, a rural residential area that people were very opposed to it, and they've come forward. So the good news is we've been working together to get that. We expect to have some amendments going forward sometime during this year. And one bill, new bill by Senator Sue Resin, Senate Bill 2595, that bill has a stipulation in there. If the county is going to approve a solar facility in the unincorporated area, which is the only place we can, and it's within 3 miles of the municipality must also approve it. So I think that's something that you guys should be supporting. I'm putting on our state legislative agenda that we're going to support that, because at least we can protect the people in the municipality and beyond your 1.5 miles all the way to 3 miles. So if, for instance, you didn't want to have the 2 proposed facilities on Will Center and one at Will Center and Pauling, that 3 miles would have come in, you could have denied it. So that's what we're doing. We're looking to get some provisions made with that. And as soon as we know some more, I'll let the mayor know, and I'll come back and give you guys an update. But you should include 2595. I've been calling local mayors. I've talked with, I did call Mayor Bogues, but she wasn't available. I said, I'm coming tonight anyway. I forgot. I talked to the mayor of Monee and Peatone, Beecher and Peatone so far, and Frankfurt. So I'll be calling around. I don't like to support something that involves a municipality if I haven't talked to the mayors of the municipalities to see what they feel, although I feel that'd be suitable. So that's where we sit. There's a lot of solar facilities coming forward. One thing that we have been asking is that they provide something to the local community. So the one here in Monee provided a $20,000 donation to Provision Labs. That same company provided $10,000 to Angels on Assignment in Crete. That's a thing that you can then tell the residents, hey, you may not like solar farms popping up, but at least they're doing something good for our community, because the electricity goes into the grid and, where does it go? We don't know. But so we have been getting some support with that, and I ask all the time. In addition, I'm asking solar companies if they'd be interested in joining us to get an amendment made. So that's what I have for you tonight, and like I said, I can come back another day when I know some more. Any questions or anything?
I'm sorry, just one. Have you had any response from the solar companies wanting to partner with you to get amendments made yet?
So
Had
far,
any
Turning
response?
Point Energy,
Turning Point?
yep, they have. So, and I've just started putting it out to, reaching out to them. So the one today was Trajectory. I said that to them, but then they have to go back to the board and have the conversation, so I don't know. But at least we do have one coming forward. And then Trajectory also did mention there was an amendment made at the end of last year that they did support. So I'm thinking we will get some support from this, so I'm hopeful with that.
Judy,
Interesting to see how deep it goes.
Yeah.
would you agree with the statement, Judy, that these solar farms are not really sustainable on their own? The only reason they're coming to Illinois is because of the incentives that they have, and once those incentives are withdrawn, they will withdraw too. Would you agree with that?
So I agree with the fact that they are all coming here because we have the grid and there is the incentives to do that. They do get subsidies to build it. So that's for sure. I don't know what's going to happen when that subsidy is gone, because it'll already be built, and once it's up and running, it'll be up and running for however long. I did find out today that wasn't explained before that there's one in Peatone, just south of, right on the same road, Kennedy Road, where Peatone Township is. I don't know if you guys are all familiar. It's on Kennedy Road on the east side of 57, and that's on a ComEd line that can allow up to 19 megawatts of electricity. And that runs from some point to some point, quite a distance. Well, their proposed solar farm, that not proposed, it's been approved, is 4 megawatts. So that takes off 4, so that leaves 15. So they can't put more on that line than that's allowed. So I don't know where we're gonna go and how it's gonna stop, but if the subsidies were to end, I mean, anything that's subsidized, if it's not a viable option, then they won't come, so.
Just as long as there's agreements built in that if they do shut down, they pull out all their equipment and leave it as they found it.
So that's the way we had it, within the county ordinance. The state AMA ordinance is not as, robust as we would like it. So also working with other groups like the Illinois Association of Drainage Districts, Farm Bureau and stuff like that, to try and get that modified. Because if the AMA were as strong as our ordinance was, it would be okay, you know, we would have, that would at least have a lot of strong points in it. But we'd like that, as well as the county having the ability to say, no, we don't think that's a suitable location for it. Another thing too is there's a county's part of a group called NACO, which is a National Association of County Organizations, and the Rural Ag Committee there, I'm a member of that, and we had a conversation about a side issue, and then solar came up. So nationally, the people in the rural communities and the farmers are getting quite upset with so much solar being built on prime farmland and stuff like that. So there is a movement there. I think we'll be seeing some things coming this year and next year, but I can't say what that might be, so.
Judy, last fall, when we were at IML, Representative DeLuca was talking about some legislation that I guess he was involved with, of trying to expand the distance that solar farms have to be
Right.
from homes. Is any progress
He
with
did.
that?
He got that amendment passed, so that had to be 500 yards from residential versus 200. So that, or feet, feet. And so that did get passed.
Oh, good.
That's
minuscule.
It is, I mean, at least
It was a
step in the right
step forward,
direction.
so, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to see the legislators showing some interest in that, and so that's a very positive thing. Like Senator Resin's bill is a positive thing, 3 miles, so at least we're getting some change with that conversation, and it was just heavily lobbied, and so we're trying to build a coalition here to say we also are a force too, because you don't have to get reelected if, you know, you're not going to give us the responsibilities that we are, and duties we should have in things like siting solar facilities, so.
Other than, hi Judy, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Other than the subsidies and the 500 feet from residents, is there anything that's glaring that towns like ours should be pushing back on?
So, I mean, I think as long as it's in the unincorporated, what I've found is that the solar companies have learned that we're denying a lot of it. And one caucus is all no votes all the time. And because of that, that's getting their interest, and they're coming to us and saying, listen, we are going to be putting in our agreement all the stipulations you had in your original ordinance before that Senate Bill 4412 got passed, changing all that. So that's a real positive. They want to be here. It's, you know, they're obviously going to be able to make some money off of it, in addition to the fact that they are willing to give some things. So I say, if you get approached by somebody, ask for something, because that's what I'm doing at the county. I'm asking for something. Washington Township has one coming. No one's opposed to it, and they're asking for the fire department's asking for a brush truck. So asking, and you get that, it gives you something. It's something you can go back to your community members and say, I know you don't really like to look at it, but we were able to negotiate this as part of the agreement. And I think that's a positive, you know what I mean? So I say ask. If you don't ask, you're never going to get anything, so it's always a good idea to ask. We do ask, and most of them have been pretty respectful. One was not respectful at all. In Green Garden, they knew that they had the AMA agreement with the state, so they figured we have to approve their special use permit. The township, Green Garden Township, wanted them to come and talk, and guess what? They wouldn't go there. Well, that turned people who usually vote yes into no votes. So at least they're listening. I think that's a positive.
And one more question. Solar cells wise, for this farmland, does that have any environmental risk to that area with the solar panels?
So everything that we have looked into, there should not be any environmental risk that we are aware of. We make sure that they do a field tile study and replace any field tiles that might be damaged, which could cause flooding and things like that. So no, there isn't any that I'm aware of in all our research.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, thank you for having,
And I
another
have one-
question.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll be quick. Has there been any, in these amendments, the considerations, anything there regarding medical research for the solar grids where cancer-causing effects? Has it been around long enough where there have been studies to show that possibility? And the other is any consideration on decreasing the amount of years of the lease from 40 years to, say, 20 or 25 years?
So most of the leases that I know are like 30 years. And in Europe, actually the WHO has a stipulation that you shouldn't have a solar farm facility, whatever you want to call it, within 1,000 feet of where somebody lives. So they've felt that over there. It's newer here. There's a big push for green, especially in the state of Illinois. Future energy jobs grant. That is all part of what is being supported in Springfield. So we haven't had that, but we're having more conversations because of the Senate Bill 4412, which was passed during lame duck. So that's a good thing. For county board, just like you guys ask a lot of questions, county board members, we are asking all those questions. Of course, the solar companies will tell you there aren't any risks, though. And, we can't deny them, so that makes it difficult on our part.
So with that being said, with what you just said about the WHO in Europe, can we use that same language and ask them that it needs to be 1,000 feet from anybody or any residences that they even have to be smaller than what they originally figured?
We can ask for that. Like I said, the task force is putting together a list of quite a few things, and what we want to do is create something that we feel can be supported by Springfield. And if we get that support and we feel there's more amendments needed, go back. But we do want to get what we definitely feel is needed passed first, because that's the critical things, and then go back for more. So it's just talking to Springfield and seeing what they have to say. So you guys know legislators, you all have different legislators than I do. I used to have Jackie Haas, but lines got drawn different. So call them up, talk to them. You have Patrick Joyce, talk to him. See what see what you can tell them. That's what I try to do. The more they're hearing from constituents, elected officials like you guys, they're likely to listen. So the more voices they hear, I think it's positive. Okay? All right. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, moving on, Ruben, to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First item is the Court Street Area Water Main Pay Request Number 2, which is a final request. The village has received pay request number 2. Final request from Iroquois Paving Corporation for the above referenced project. This invoice has been reviewed by staff and Robinson Engineering and found to be in substantial compliance with all plans and specifications. Therefore, we would recommend that Iroquois Paving Corporation is entitled to payment in the amount of $627,019.93 and summarized below. Total earned $1,445,066.57, less a previous payment of $818,046.64. Amount due this payment is $627,019.93. Board action request is a motion to approve this final pay request number 2 from Iroquois Paving Corporation in the amount of $627,019.93.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Last item is a TIF reimbursement request for a fire suppression sprinkler system. The village has recently received a tax increment financing reimbursement assistance request from Iroquois Paving Corporation for their remodel project located at 6025 Industrial Drive. Just as a notation here, this is the former Public Works building that was sold by the village to Iroquois Paving. The request was made after they installed a 2-hour firewall in their 20,000 square foot building and installed an automated fire alert alarm system with a $100,000 approximate cost. Iroquois Paving was not able to have the sprinkler system waived by fire safety and are asking for a TIF assistance. This request has been vetted by Tesca Consultants and also our village attorney, and the materials and installation for this remodel project are TIF eligible. Iroquois Paving Corporation's request and invoice have been included in your packet and presented for your review and consideration. As a reminder, this facility is in TIF District Number 5. Board action request is a motion to approve Iroquois Paving Corporation's TIF assistance request in the amount of $151,289.00.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Hey, we've had lousy weather last few weeks. I don't know if you've noticed that, but our Public Works has been very, very diligent, up early, staying out late, plowing and salting our roads. And so far, we've gone through 300 tons of salt thus far. And if you recall last year, I don't think we used very much at all. Anyways, we do have an order for an additional 300 tons that should be coming along very soon. And another thing that could really help, especially this Friday, when it's our garbage day, if you can get your garbage cans and your vehicles off the street. Well, vehicles off the street whenever it snows and it's when it's icy. But garbage cans, especially on garbage day, get garbage cans and vehicles off the streets. We appreciate your cooperation on that. Thank you, that's all.
Okay. Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. Parks and Recreation had a wonderful birthday party with our senior luncheon celebrating the beginning of 24 and our 150th celebration last week. The next senior luncheon is on February 13th, and the fee for that is $7 a person. You can sign up with Parks and Rec at 8534-8302. And coming up is a cupcake decorating class on Monday, January 29th. All ages are invited, and it's $6 per person. Blackhawks tickets are still on sale at Village Hall till February 2nd for the February 9th game at the United Center versus the Rangers at $165 each. The Chicago White Sox would also like to honor Monee at a very special Cubs versus White Sox game on August 10th at Guaranteed Rate Field. Ticket prices are not released yet, but the Sox would like to know if you are interested to reserve seats now. Please call Parks and Recreation to save your seats by February 2nd. This does not mean you are obligated to buy them at this point. Baseball registration is in full swing, and the last registration date is February 3rd at Fireman's Park Building, 9 a.m. till noon. Registration forms still available can be found on our website for more information. February is around the corner, and there are 7 programs coming to celebrate Black History Month this year. Alma Woodsey Thomas Art Project, Jean Michael Biscayet Project, Rhythm of Life Soulful Music, Black History Trivia Night, Black History Expo, Special Saturday Service, and a Soul Food Celebration. If you're still still sticking with your New Year's resolution and come try one of our new fitness classes, adult and youth taekwondo, yoga, adult fitness, senior fitness, or a dance class for children and teens. For more information on any of or all of these programs, visit our website or the Parks Department at 708-534-8302. End of report.
Thank you. Finance, trustee Rakis.
Mayor, I have nothing to report tonight.
Okay. Economic Development, trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. No new businesses to report under Unite Monee. Seafree property at Ridgeland and north of Monee, Manhattan has a new tenant. It's Reynolds Distribution. They're going to occupy 4,500,000 square foot of the 600, just a little over 600,000 square foot of the building. Economic Development Director Bill Brown. I work with a Bill Brown. I'm sorry. I sit right across the hall from Public Safety Director Bill Brown. So it throws me off every time. So never. He used to be my chief. So Economic Development Bill Barnes is currently facilitating the closing of 2023 development projects and is currently working on 2 new development projects. So hopefully next meeting we'll have more information to disseminate, but at this time we don't. And as always, shop Monee when available. End of report, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Building Services, trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. Phase 1 remodel for the coffee shop at 4530 Main Street is complete. Phase 2 is 95% complete, and we will issue the permit for Phase 3 once we receive an updated contractors list. Board, Director Burris has sent you guys a whole bunch of pictures here. The remodel of the dental shop at 5511 Wilson is complete, and they have issued the certificate of occupancy. And if you look at the pictures and stuff in here, they've done a marvelous job. The foundations for Leader Commercial Properties on Emerald are in, and he will proceed with the next construction step, weather permitting. We have 4 residential construction homes in progress, 2 in Eagle Fair, 1 in Country Hills on Tisch Court, and the townhomes on Ford Court. A quick reminder to businesses that have not yet scheduled their business license inspection, please call the Building and Services to set up an appointment. We would like to encourage everyone to visit the village website, villageofmonee.org. From the main page, scroll down and click on the Permits and Forms radio button, and you will notice an updated folder with specific information on building permit submittals. This information is intended to be a helpful tool and provide a checklist on submittals and requirements. End of report.
Thank you. Public Safety, trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple things tonight here. First, from Monee's Emergency Management Report on January 12th during our recent snowstorm. EMA had 5 vehicles and 7 personnel at the peak of the storm. EMA scheduled personnel for 25 hours of storm duty. Both of our I-57 ramps had to be closed in both directions. EMA had 10 calls for service, including multiple mutual aid requests from Will County EMA. EMA assisted 12 motorists, and EMA's vehicles had direct contact communication with our public works snowplows, which was vital for the success of their operation that night. And again, just hats off to our EMA guys. This was volunteer work, people, volunteers that came out in the storm to help us out. So, I mean really, it's a big thank you. On January 17th, Monee EMA assisted Wilmington and Will County EMA with pre-planning and resident notification for the Kankakee River ice jam and flooding. And on January 18th, Monee EMA, Monee Fire, Will County EMA sent a reverse 911 message to all residents for a natural gas release that had occurred in Indiana. This affected all of eastern Will County and was necessary to prevent Laraway Dispatch from being overrun with 911 calls for smells of gas in the area. And just to reiterate, there was no danger from that release to anybody. And also this Saturday, Monee EMA has 12 members that will be attending Illinois Department of Transportation Traffic Incident Management class in Momence. All the members that attend this will become certified, so their training continues on. And again, just a note to show you, 10 calls for service this month during the storms. They had 31 calls for service last year, so they're well on their way to breaking that and getting more and more involved. So again, a big thank you. For our police department, the Monee Police and Fire Commission has approved the use of an online written examination for new applicants. Applicants will have a 48-hour window to complete the test on the assigned dates. Contract with the testing facilitators has been approved, and we expect to announce the application process in the next week. Most departments who have initiated this concept are reporting an average of 25% more applicants. The test is expected to be scheduled around the last week of March. Monee Police will also be accepting applications for lateral entry positions in the near future. This process will not be affected by the online testing. With this, we are asking that the board continue its support for the signing bonuses for qualified lateral transfers, fulfilling a 3-year commitment. So something that we would like to keep moving forward. As we talked about last year with the budgeting, this keeps us competitive with the areas around us so that we can help pull quality officers to our area and our town. Monee Police is proud to have participated in several holiday activities and to support several charities, including Shop with a Cop, support a homeless veteran, and contributing to the recovery fund for Joliet area trooper Brian Frank, who was critically injured while handling a crash on I-55. Much of the funding for these worthwhile charities is derived from the officers' No Shave November contributions. But next up is the Polar Plunge, coming March 2nd for Special Olympics. And say if you're interested in donating, you can go to the Monee Police Facebook page, and I believe they have a post there where you can click on it and make a donation to help support a great charity. End of report.
Great, thank you. Moving on to the attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 3 items for the board's consideration. Excuse me. The first item is an extension request from Primex Properties. They are asking us to extend the feasibility deadline to February 27th, 2025. This is the project by Governors and Monee Manhattan Road. But they are asking for a continuance to February 27th, 2025. Pardon me?
Did they give any reason for asking for the extension?
I think part of it is permitting with Will County Department of Transportation, design, but mostly it's permitting.
Yeah.
So, but they seem to be still very interested in the site, but it's taking longer than what we thought.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to their doing?
Oh, no,
Basically.
sir. No, sir. No, none whatsoever. Not ours, no.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second.
Any discussion?
And just to be very clear, this is not our doing it all. It's
Correct.
with the county is the
Yeah.
slowdown or
Correct. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay.
And this was just the feasibility study portion still too, right?
Feasibility, but that usually includes everything and anything. Could be surveys, could be ground, but it's a catch-all. But that's reasonable.
Traffic studies, things of that
Yes,
nature. So
yes.
it's due to no fault of theirs. This is unforeseens and just bureaucracy, if you would.
Okay. Roll call. please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is authorization for Mayor Boggs to sign the plat of subdivision. This is on the Blue Beacon project. That's the truck wash, I believe it is. They've been in before. The gentleman came in, I believe, from Kansas City. But it's up for the board's review and consideration. I think Jeff has taken a look at it, and it meets with his approval.
We need a motion?
Yes, sir, I'm
I'll
sorry.
make that motion.
A second.
Any discussion on this board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, we would need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute a plat of dedication for Egyptian Trail, the northeast corner of Wilson. It went before the zoning board as well as the plat of subdivision Blue Beacon. The zoning board approved it, and at this time, we need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
You're doing such a great job, Larry. Keep going. Unfinished business.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is an ordinance amending Title 11, Chapter 6, Section 7, relative to fences. Romy has put in a tremendous amount of work along with Robinson Engineering, and they did make some recommendations as to an amendment to this, our current fencing ordinance. So it is in Section H2 and 3. And I believe Romy has distributed some pictures to show what the ordinance is supposed to entail. But it is up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
2047.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item, it's up for the board's review and consideration. The ordinance creating a real estate transfer, registration and inspection ordinance. We have something on the books now, but we'd like to amend it. If we could table this, there's a couple issues that still have to be resolved. Romy's put a lot of work into it along with his staff. If we could table it to the first board meeting in March, if it's okay. I will be out of the country in a good portion of February.
Again?
Yes.
I'll make the motion to table.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez? Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Any new business? All right, open to the public, non-agenda items?
Hello, my name's William Bailey, and I've lived at 6431 Spruce Court for about 31 years now. In those years, I've assisted past village boards like yourself with mechanical systems for some of the village buildings. In spring of 2008, we did the 5,000 square foot water department, now EMA building. In fall of that year, we did the Park District building. It's all radiant floor heating systems. Both systems are still up and running, going strong, and you're enjoying probably the lowest operating costs. I did a little survey this morning. This building here is about 4,000 square feet, and you're paying about 8.7 cents per square foot to heat it last month. The Park District, 8.7 cents per square foot. okay, $344. The Park District buildings, 2,500 square foot, you paid about 7.7 cents per square foot. The EMA building, or the old Water Department building, is 5,000 square feet, and you're paying 4.5 cents per square foot. So as we get larger, the cost goes down. So why am I here spewing all these numbers at you? I'm here today to discuss the new building, Public Works building, and in particular, the mechanical system that's been specified. This is a 30,000 square foot building. If you want to get your steps in, walk around it. It's big. Okay. The building itself is a very good design with a lot of good systems. Building systems you put into it. Okay. It's going to be a long-term building. It's 50 years plus. I'm glad you're looking at it that way. Okay. My concern is the heating system that is being specified is overhead infrared. It is the lowest cost system to put in a building. It will have some of their highest costs as far as operation, as far as uneven heating. And if you ever want to change in the future to any type of other system, you will have to take it out and have the whole mechanicals redone. Radiant floor heating is a long-term investment. You've done it twice. That's why all kinds of corporations, colleges, government agencies, all those things that are on that sheet have been doing it. It is also adaptable. We're using water to heat the system. So anything that can heat water can be used. You're talking about solar cells, that's fine. There are better ways of creating heat. So you've got geothermals out there. We got air-to-water heat pumps. We got water-to-water heat pumps. We got solar water that's coming up. These are things that I wouldn't invest personally myself in right now. They're not there. But 10 years from now, they'll be there. 20 years from now, they'll be there. 30 years from now, they will be the systems. Okay, gas will be gone by then. All right, that's just my prediction. Today, though, gas is still highly affordable. We will be using, in the design I've proposed, a 95% efficient boiler. So every dollar worth of gas you buy from Nicor, you're going to get 95 cents into the floor. So why and what am I doing this for? Well, I live in the town. I'm a taxpayer. I don't want to see my taxes go up every year. Okay? No one does. I'm in the business. I've been in this business for 35 years. I know people. I know prices. I know how to get this done. Okay? I want this village to have the best system out there, and that's radiant floor. Okay? I've offered my services to the architects. I was at the January 9th meeting. We had a very interesting discussion. Okay? It went well. Okay? I've offered them my services, the architects and the construction managers, for all my engineering, supervising, and everything else, free of charge. Again, let's keep the costs down. I can assist them with the best contractors. I know the good guys. I know the best guys. I can twist the best guys in the Village of Monee's favor so we can get the lowest possible cost for the village. So in conclusion, when the bids come out after next week and it's going to get reviewed and everything else, I'm offering my services free of charge to the village. I just want you to consider the long-term ramifications of putting in the cheapest system up front. It will cost us in the long term. And 50 years is a long time. Okay? So thank you.
Thank you.
If you got any
Appreciate
questions,
that.
my card's on there, you can call.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. That's very selfless. Thank you.
It's the closest jobs I've ever going to have.
Good evening, everybody. Christy Holston with the Historical Society. I just have a couple of things tonight. Exciting about the proclamation, so that's a wonderful thing. I want to remind everybody that we are having a benefit, the first one of the year, fundraiser at Frankie's this Thursday. It will be all day long, and so you just have to go in and say that you're there to support the Historical Society. and 20% of the bill will be donated to the Historical Society by Frankie. So we want to thank Frankie publicly for his civic mindedness and invite everybody to come and get pizza. You can be either dine in or carry out. I will be there. I will clean every table that anybody needs me to do. On February 10th, it's our next Heritage Day. This one there'll be a presentation at 1 p.m. on the history of Monee. So everybody please come to that. Our January 10th presentation had to be canceled due to the weather. That one was how the railroad shaped the history of Monee. And we also had someone from the Pullman National Historic Site coming out to speak. We will reschedule that at a later date. We can't get the guy from Pullman right now, but the displays are all up, and we will be doing a short presentation on how the railroad shaped Monee. That'll be at 10 a.m., and the history of Monee will be at 1, and that's all on February 10th. The other two things I wanted to say is that we are having a special for the year on the membership. Instead of the normal $25 to be a member, the price will be $18.74. So we invite everyone. I'd like to invite all of the trustees. I'll be giving you each a application tonight because we'd like to have all the trustees and village officials as member. It helps with not only our bottom line, but also with our funding for grants. And we also will have a special during the month of February on the history of Monee. Our roots are deep. The normal price on that is $35, and for the month of February, so everybody can bone up on their facts for the year, it will be $25. So please take advantage of that. That helps us as well. And I believe that's all I have for this evening, so thank you very much. Oh, and I also have the February newsletter here. I'm just going to leave them up here if anybody wants those. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy.
You're already a member? Thank you. And you're already a member. Not yet.
Thank you. Thanks, Christy. Anybody else for open to the public? May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
7:30 PM.